Hello friends! Today I'm gonna do a video that some genius suggested I do, so high five, you know who you are. They said that I should do a video talking about the 10 books that I do not want to start, which is fantastic because I have a ton of things that I have but don't feel like touching. Except that by a ton of things I mean 5 books, so I narrowed it down to 5. And I'm just gonna tell you about which books I have that I either started or I'm just don't want anything to do with it, but I'm gonna have to read it eventually anyway, so maybe I'll go back and rewatch this video in like a year and be like, ha ha ha, I thought I was gonna hate that book. Just a short disclaimer, I know that some of you may enjoy these books, so I'm not in any way trying to say that I don't like them or they're bad books. I'm just not enjoying them currently at the moment. These are all books that I have not started, so perhaps that's part of it, but these are just books that I'm dreading to read. I think that's a good way to phrase it. The first one is something that I started and admittedly got a far way through it before I put it down and just could not do it anymore. It's The Book Thief by Markus Zusak. And I hear this is so good by everybody who talks about it. There's so many great reviews. Markus Zusak is apparently an angel because he's perfect. And I got so far through this. I got maybe this far, maybe a little more than half before I had enough. And I put it down and I never picked it back up. And I don't know what I didn't enjoy about it. It just was really so slow. There's a lot of German in it, and it was kind of annoying to have to stop and look up what they just said. I just could not fathom energy. That's just gonna be my expression in this video. I could not fathom the energy. The next book is something more recent that I guess I don't have the power to judge because I've only read like the first page. But I'm sorry, yes. Blood Red Road, this is probably the least dreadful one on this list, but I began this book thinking, okay, here, this is great, let's do this. And then I flipped to the first page, and unknowing little me, the day's hot, so hot and dry that all I can taste in my mouth is dust. It literally, like, writes in the accent in Bad Grammar, you know what I'm talking about? And that really bugs me, and I thought it didn't have that, and wasn't going to have that. So it's gonna take a lot of effort to get into this one just because it's gonna bug me so much, but one of my lovely Instagram followers is sticking to my side saying it gets better, so hopefully whenever I decide to read this, perhaps next or this month, I will just push through because it is a pretty big book and I'm probably gonna get really irritated with it very fast, but Jesus, give me hope. I can't stand even talking about this one. Crushed by Ali Condi. Let's just talk about how much I don't like Xander. No, not Xander. I love Xander to death. It's Kai and Kasia? What's her name? I will finally take the time to describe why I have so much distaste toward these characters. So I read Matched a while ago, so I don't remember exactly everything that happened, so if I get my information wrong, don't be afraid to correct me or try and prove me wrong, because again, it's been a while. But from what I remember, what's her face? Kasia? I'm gonna call her Kasia for a while. Kasia gets matched with literally her best friend, who is Xander. So of course I'm like, I ship them, they're gonna have the best life together. No. So it's again like the Unearthly series where you were literally destined to be with a person that you would be perfect with, and yet you have to go find someone else who they like better. Like, do you know what I'm talking about? When there's literally a couple that is so perfect and you're like, yes, go do the thing. And instead they just kind of wander off and they're like, a new specimen that I should fall in love with, and just, no, go, stop. Just that whole book was a struggle. And I don't know, I'm very anxious to see how the love triangle develops, if there even will be one. But I just can't stand the two main characters in this one. So I just don't know how I'm gonna deal with that. I hear Xander plays a bigger role in the third one. I don't know. If the series goes downhill from this, please let me know, because I really don't want to have to invest my time into the third book that's like that big. This series, guys, can't do it. Next is something that's nice and crinkled and ruined because it dropped behind my bed and was shoved there for like a month straight. It's Gone by Michael Grant. I tried reading this and I got like a chapter or two into it and then put it down. Then I picked it back up last month saying I have to do this. I got about 10 chapters into it, then put it down. And it's not so much that the writing is bad or the plot is bad. I mean, the plot is fantastic and I really want to know what happens, but the characters are so irritating and boring, and it might just be that way in the beginning because they're all scared, but I just, these characters are just so annoying that I just can't use my energy to have to deal with their feelings and their words and their life. Okay, it's just, someone please tell me this gets better. They get a backbone and start to fight and find answers, and it's so big. Why? I just want a nice, lovely story about children who can cope. Lastly, something you also heard me talk about several times, and I don't even regret any of it. Why We Broke Up by Daniel Handler. I am so tired of having to talk about this book. It's crazy. This annoys me half to death. I hate the writing, I hate the plot. It's kind of pointless. I'm pretty much that far into it, and I just can't do anymore. This might just have to be a book that I start and never finish, because I'm just so annoyed with having to put up with these characters. Like, our narrator is so immature that I want to stab my own eyeballs with a fork. She just complains the whole book, and she's immature, and the writing is super boring. The plot is like in like flashback type format, so it's really passive and just not fun to read, point blank period. I may or may not decide to continue on with this, but at this point I'm putting it on the back burner because I cannot handle this storyline. It's just physically painful. Thank you for watching. See you next video, toodles.